Well, happy Saturday evening and hello everybody. Welcome to
Hello.
Welcome to Soup to Nuts, and tonight we have Sharon.
The understudy.
Yes. Stephanie said, "Does she mind understudy?" And I said, "No, I think she came up with it." But anyway,
Oh
Sharon,
no.
Sharon is here tonight. I'm here tonight, the soup. And okay, that's understudy. All right. And I am not going to forget this. Stephanie sends her love. But as
Yes.
all of you, I think, know, she's pretty much working 7 days a week. She not only works her full time job, but on the weekends, she works her part time job at a yoga studio. So she's never sure if she can make the shows or not, but I sent her the link. I told her if she can make it, please jump on and at least tell you all hello. But other than that, I'm going to welcome you to another episode. I have no idea which one of Soup to Nuts, your movie loving heretics, where there is no politics, no religion, and I hope we all just have a bunch of fun. So I hope
Yep.
you all are doing well tonight. Sharon, how are you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. A little toasty around the edges. I've been out in the garden all day.
Oh my gosh.
What little
Yeah,
gardening I did.
you
It
were
was
telling
mostly it was mostly watering down the mud. It was making
oh my
everything sopping wet so it'll be easier tomorrow.
oh my gosh. Well, one thing, oh, and yeah, I can kind of see if I go into the comments on StreamYard, I can kind of see who your names because they're bold, but I can't really read everything. But I believe it's Rosie sent hearts to Stephanie. I will
Yes.
definitely tell her that.
Yes.
And wait a minute, hold on. Let me see who else is here. I saw Vince Womack
G
came in early.
Monkey
G Monkey, hey
and
there.
Bruce.
Bruce, hi Bruce. Let's see.
Yeah,
Not
that's
sure.
that's it so far.
That's it so far. Hey,
Uh-huh.
we're still gonna
Hi
have
everybody.
hi everybody. We're still gonna have fun.
Oh,
So
if y'all have a question for Tina, just preface it with ask Tina and I'll make sure she hears the question.
right, yeah, and please remember that Sharon has never moderated a channel before, like
I'm
me and
so
Stephanie do, or we did. So it might take her a little bit to respond. So if you would please have patience, and if you have anything, just type it slowly, or well,
Oh
you
no,
don't have.
no, just yeah, just I'll get to it.
She'll get to it, and I'm
I'll
saying,
get to it.
and I'm
But
saying, type
it'll
it
be easier for me to see if you preface it with ask Tina. If
or
there's something you want Tina to respond to, if
or
there's something you want me to
ask.
respond to,
Oh
I'll
yes,
say Sharon or
yeah,
um
ask
but
Sharon.
it all tends to blur together. My eyesight is not real good either, so it all tends to blur
Oh
together.
my
And
gosh. And I was
but
just
that's
trying
been a lifelong issue, not anything, um, not anything serious.
well, and that's what who was I talking to the other day? And I was telling them that let's see, I see the retinal specialist, I think later this month for a follow
Okay,
up.
good.
And, but the thing is, the ophthalmologist didn't say, okay, after you see him, then come back and see me again. He didn't say that. So here's what it boils down to. If I've been going since December with an old pair of glasses and all I needed was new glasses to sharpen everything, I'm going to be really upset.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, I understand about if the retinal specialist had it right, if he's saying that, yes, the stroke affected my ocular lobe and may have affected some of my cells, and it's like a lot of things I see dark. That's one thing. I understand that. If the ophthalmologist is making me walk around without a newer pair of glasses, we're going to have some words.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Well, I mean, there needs to be at least some type of therapy or plan. They can't just like drop you and say, "Okay, oh well, you've got to live with it," and not give you an idea. I mean, I just and the recovery that you've had to me gives me hope. So I'm just like, you, I'm just thinking there needs to be some questions going around about what to do. We have our first question. Vince would like to know, how were the baby back ribs?
oh, Vince, oh my gosh, they turned out so well. They turned out so well. I had so much. I only did one slab. After Memorial Day or so, I was like, oh. So I froze the remainder of them, and I'll probably heat those up next weekend.
Awesome.
So,
G Monkey says, as long as I don't fall behind 20 minutes behind like Odin, we'll be fine. I'll do my best.
yeah,
I'm not that slow.
he was bad about that. I swear. Jacob Ironside, are you in the chat? Because I think,
I see Fred Farkle. Hello, Fred.
hello, Fred.
Soul Assassin's on. Jacob Ironside is on.
Yes.
Hello, Jacob.
Hello,
And,
everybody.
yeah. So,
And I think, like I said, I can kind of make out the words in the comments that we have on StreamYard. I think Soul Assassin just came into the chat.
yes.
Hello, Soul. And I see the R. Hello there. See, I can kind of make out some things. And I've told Sharon and I've told other friends that I think my eyesight has improved since December. And because there are things that I can kind of make out more clearly, but I wouldn't be able to, like, I couldn't do this by myself. I'm so glad that Sharon is helping me out tonight. I couldn't do this alone because I wouldn't be able, I might see your names, but I wouldn't have any idea what you're saying. And so anyway, Sharon, I'm going to thank you again.
Well, you're welcome.
And
You're very, very, very welcome.
Oh my goodness. And I
like
can't wait.
I still owe you.
Yes, we have to talk about that.
Yeah, I still owe you.
Oh my gosh. So
That's going
anyway,
to be a lifelong thing.
oh, I know it. Well, I told Sharon we're just going to do a stream of consciousness stream tonight, which Lord knows that could mean anything. So let's see, what's Soul Assassin saying? Something.
Hello, howdy, Tina and Sharon. With
Yes,
Hand Reeves.
fellow Texan. Well, I'm not a Texan. Well, I guess I am.
Who's a fellow Texan?
I said in blue bonnets, so I think that counts. So anyway.
Yes, you were made, and I made you an honorary.
You made me an honorary.
I made you an honorary a Texan. So the first thing we need to do is go find some blue bonnets, and we did.
And we did.
And we went to Washington County, no less, which is where Washington on the Brazos is. And Washington on the Brazos was basically like Philadelphia for the Texas Revolution.
Yes. I have learned,
even though there's nothing there now.
I have Washington on the Brazos like on my calendar when I have the day that you all signed the independence. Mm-hmm. Your Declaration of Independence.
Yeah, Declaration. Yeah,
they've got
that's also Sam Houston's birthday.
Yes, so. They've got this little cabin on the picture.
Did we go there? I can't remember if we
never went.
Never made it. Yeah, there's a replica cabin there.
That's what they had in the picture then.
Soul says takes 3 votes to make a Texan.
Oh.
Sharon, Steph, and me voted you in. So see, it's official.
Yes. Well, what is so funny, Soul, is the first time I went to Texas, it was after my mother had passed away. And I went towards the end of the year. It was just a form of catharsis for me. And I stayed at, I guess it's still there, a Marriott outside of San Antonio.
Oh, I'm sure it is. I think my aunt goes there once in a while.
I loved it. And it was just a nice way to relax and everything. Well, Sharon took me, we went everywhere.
Well, yeah. Well, not
Sort
on
of.
that trip. You came a second time, and you wanted to do the Revolution Path, so we kind
And
of
we
did it
did it.
backwards.
Yes.
We did it backwards. We went from the end to the beginning, and we still hadn't seen everything.
Oh
So,
no, no, no. Because I mean, the Alamo, definitely. I've seen
yeah.
it. I've been to Gonzales,
Hmm.
where the first shots were fired.
Hmm.
We've been to San Jacinto.
Uh-huh.
Still haven't seen the Goliad.
Not to go. Yeah, that's a little out of the way.
Yeah, yeah. It was like every time we talked about it, it was like, yeah, that's gonna take a
Yeah.
while.
Well, we could have done it, but we would have we it would have been yeah, it would have added hours to our trip.
Yeah, and I'm wait a minute, I'm looking at the chat. Hound, did you just jump in?
Yeah, Hound jumped in. Hello,
Hello,
Hound.
Hound.
Woof woof. Um,
Oh my god.
let's see. Soul Assassin stayed at a Marriott outside San Antonio. I'm sorry if you got lost downtown. No, there's this resort
There's a resort.
by the Marriott hotel chain. It's beautiful. It's huge.
It's and they have a golf course
And a
as
golf course.
part
Yeah.
of it. And one year when I went there, I didn't know it was going on. They were having a golf tournament. Joey Horn, I think I just saw you jump
Yep.
in.
Joey Horn. Hello, Joey.
Okay. But they were having the tournament, and I went out and walked the trail during the tournament. And I stayed real quiet. It was like, okay, you have to be quiet because they're getting ready to tee off, and I know the good manners. And when I went to eat, Sharon, do you remember there was a steakhouse that was on the property?
Yeah, yeah. It was really good food.
Really good food. I went there to have dinner, and one of the servers said, "Oh, you just missed the winner. They just gave him his big check, you know." And I was like, "Oh darn,
Wow.
I don't know who won." I'm trying to see this. Okay, that's Hound. Okay, um, I'm trying to think what. But anyway, no, it's outside San Antonio. Maybe I want to say 5 miles, but it might be further. But the property's gorgeous, and they have a complete spa, which was what I always hit when I went. And so you can play golf, you can go swimming. Oh, they even have, Sharon, what do you call it? Lazy River.
Oh yeah.
They even have,
Rosie said, "Please tell Tina her eyes are definitely so much better with her being able to call out everyone in the chat. So you're doing really well."
oh, thank you. Yeah, on the comments on the StreamYard, like I said, they are in bold, and if I stare hard enough, I can at least kind of make out who's talking. So that's something. That is something. So anyway,
I
Sharon.
was going to say, Rosie, I love San Antonio too. We always end up there. We ourselves went there this past Christmas. Well, it was like actually New Year's. We stayed for New Year's Eve, and there wasn't anything really big going on, but it was really nice to stay. And we stayed in one of the hotels on the Riverwalk, so it was really, really nice. And it's almost like what's the word I'm looking for? It's almost traditional now. Got to go to San
Yes.
Antonio. However, in a couple of weeks, I will be going to Galveston, and I love Galveston.
I love Galveston. I really do. I'm so glad you introduced me to Galveston.
I love it. So,
oh my gosh. So okay, well, I'll tell you what.
oh, Rosie wants to know if I took you to the basement in the Alamo.
Oh. I know those poor guides would get so sick. One of them did say, "We have been asked that so much."
Yeah.
But
I'll be right back.
Okay. One person, if you all can hold off your questions and everything, Sharon will be right back. I know one year when I went there, one of the guides said, "We are actually going to get a basement in the Alamo," because they were doing a bunch of excavating. And he was just like, so Finally, when people say, "Is there a basement in the Alamo?" we'll be able to say, "Yes, yes, there is a basement in the Alamo." But Pee Wee's bike is not in it. So,
His bike is not there.
oh my gosh, I
I
love
don't I don't know what they're doing there because what had happened for decades, I mean, since the turn of the 20th century, um, it had been the whole thing had been preserved because of a woman whose last name is Zavala, and
right,
she was a Tejano. So her family was very, very much part of the San Antonio history. And she and a group of ladies formed the Daughters of the Republic of Texas. And
right,
they were the ones that pretty much saved the Alamo. And so they were the ones that ran it and kept it open and opened it to the public and did as
right.
much preservation as they could. I don't know exactly what spurred it or happened. I want to blame the Bushes because George P. Bush was looking for a way to score political points. And I don't know exactly what happened, but long story short, it is no longer under the auspices of the DRT, Daughters of the Republic of Texas. It is now
Right.
under the GLO.
Oh.
And that just really, it's like nails on, because I've worked with some stuff from the GLO before, and it was not fun.
Oh my
And
gosh.
and so the GLO is the one that now is in charge, and they've been making improvements. It's controversial. On the one hand, I don't like the idea that a government entity is in charge of this now.
Right.
A lot of people involved that are more interested in scoring political points, like George P. Bush,
You're right.
who is the son of Jeb Bush.
I was getting ready to say, "Oh, please clap."
And
Sorry, no politics, no politics.
no politics, no politics. Anyway, but they are trying to restore as much of the original mission that was there as possible, at
Right.
least to have. And so they've gotten rid of things like Ripley's Believe It or Not, and
Good.
these other, virtual reality, these kitschy, tourist trap places
Right.
that were there close to and they've been taking those buildings, and they're going to create a visitors center for the public
That's
and
what they
try
need.
to reclaim a lot. So there's not even through traffic through the area anymore. It's more, they're trying to, so on that side. Oh, and Phil Collins was apparently a big um, uh, fan of Texas history and the Texas,
That
and
reminds me. I'm
well,
gonna,
I'll have to tell about that little story. Have I told that one already?
I don't think so. I'm gonna
Okay,
interrupt
I'll
you
have
for a
to tell that
second
story
because
when
I
I do it.
swear I saw Hunky Chunky come into the chat.
Yes, yes. Hi. Yep. Hello.
Hi there, and I'm so glad you're back to cooking again. And I've been trying to follow your progress as much as possible, so I am so glad you made it tonight. Um, yeah, Sharon, I heard that. I think Rosie said. I think she said Phil Collins question mark.
Yes, Phil Collins. I was surprised as everyone else.
You know how I found out Phil Collins liked Texas history? I didn't know this.
How?
Remember the other show? I think we briefly talked about the Alamo movie, the recent one.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Phil Collins got involved in that.
Oh really? I
And
didn't know that.
that was the first I had heard about it. And
Wow.
they were like, they were trying to find all these people that knew real Texas history. And they said all of a sudden it was like Phil Collins got involved. So I don't know how that happened. I don't know why he's interested in Texas history. Um, what I'm curious if the town still exists because they said that they pretty much built a full, like the way San Antonio would have been at the time. they rebuilt it. I know John
Yes.
Wayne did for his version of the Alamo, but that location I think is, oh, I can't remember. I saw a making of. I want to say the version they did for the recent Alamo was built near Austin, but they were trying to find land that looked similar to the way the land looked at the time. So yeah, so
Well, what's the movie that you want to talk about?
oh well, I'm going. Okay, I hope for you all this turns out okay. I did a short slideshow last night. I loaded Google Slides onto my phone and did a lot of trial and error. So I'm going to apologize if the pictures are a little bit off. Just be glad I got it built. So, Sharon, I'm going to go ahead and, oh my gosh, I hope I can get this in. Okay. Oh, there we go. All right. Okay, I'm going to have to move the laptop closer to my face so that I can see. Can you all see that? Okay. Sharon, can you see that
Hang
okay?
on just a minute. I'm
Oh,
sorry. Oh, yeah, I can see it. I don't know if is everyone else okay?
yeah, just
Welcome to an attempted slideshow.
yeah, yes, that's it. That's it. That's it. All right. And I did manage to find soup and nuts. So okay. So let's see.
How
Sharon,
could you have missed his music, Soul? Oh my gosh. This
wait a
makes me
minute.
feel old.
Wait a minute. Soul doesn't know Phil
He
Collins.
said, I've heard of him, but never heard his music.
Oh
You've
my
heard his music,
God.
I'm sure.
Oh my God. Yeah, yeah. I'm sure you
I'm sure
probably.
if you would hear parts of it, I bet you would recognize some of it.
I'm thinking. You know what's going through my brain right now?
What?
What's his name? Don't lose my number.
Oh yeah.
That's in my brain right now.
Right.
Who is that? Whose number am I not supposed to lose?
I know.
I
don't
can't
know.
remember.
I have no idea.
Billy, don't lose my number.
Billy, don't
Yes.
lose my number.
I think the
Was
R.
that in a movie with Christian Slater and Helen Slater?
Oh, I don't know.
I think that was in
Well,
like a movie.
when okay, this is what really date me. When the MTV Awards, the first year they started, Phil Collins' video was picked the video of the year. And of course
Okay.
I don't remember the name of it. It was
Um,
I want to be your sledgehammer. That's it.
no, that's Peter Gabriel, but he was part of Genesis, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, and he was Phil Collins, hell of a drummer.
Yes.
Miami Vice. I'm thinking about Miami Vice. Somebody in the chat type something. Let's see.
Yeah.
Oh,
You hear it in the song in the night. Feel it in the air tonight.
that's it. That was the Miami Vice theme. If you even know what Miami Vice is.
Mm-hmm. Well, okay, let's go with the Disney generation. If you saw Tarzan, he did a major song for Tarzan.
He did.
It was a really good song. I liked it.
Okay.
Well,
right.
and then there was Genesis, and then and then they all kind of went their separate ways and did their own solo careers.
Yes. Somebody. Let's see. Let's see. Vince said Don Johnson, I think. Yeah.
Don Johnson.
And Michael. Philip Michael Thomas. I was trying to read what somebody was saying. Yeah. That's it. I would just listen to the theme song and when they got started, and I never saw a single episode all the way through.
Yeah.
And definitely.
Yeah. There's Genesis, and then there's Phil Collins.
And then there's Phil Collins.
And I remember in college, I think it was a Phil Collins. Okay. And this will date me because, LPs. But I don't know if it's repeated on the CD, but I remember I loved this one out. I think it was his first solo album. And I would listen to it, and then it got to the end of the one side, and the record just kept playing and playing, but there was no sound. and I just kind of got the barest, faintest whisper. So I turned it all the way up, and he was singing Somewhere Over the Rainbow at the end of this track on the A side, I think. And so you, unless you were paying attention and you knew what to do, you wouldn't have even known it was there. You just thought, the record's just,
Oh
in
my
a
God.
loop. But yeah, at the very end, I forget which song it was, but you have to turn, I mean, it was so quiet. You had to turn the volume all the way up, and he was singing Somewhere Over the
Wow.
Rainbow very
Well,
nicely too.
nice. Well, I'm still trying to figure out what number nine
Land of
is.
Confusion. Yes. Yeah. 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 That
Oh,
that
yeah,
was
that's
Collins.
right. Yeah.
Land of Confusion.
Yeah, I'm still trying to figure out number nine.
Yeah, I almost disliked him because it was a stab at Reagan. So just like,
Oh my goodness.
well,
Oh.
if you remember, it was I forget the name of the puppets. They were real popular in Britain at the time. Um,
Mm-mm.
oh gosh, okay, they went flying right out of my head. They were very, very popular though, but the video was using these puppets, and he had a puppet of Reagan and Thatcher and
Oh, I
uh,
remember that.
Gorbachev and
Yes.
Khrushchev and all the Russian, and it
Yes.
was all this, yeah.
That was like the one song, didn't have any puppets in it, but it was the song Sting did when he went
Oh, yeah.
solo, and he did this the Russians love their children too, or some, it was an anti-nuclear song. And but it was on his first album that he did after he and the Police went their separate ways. So, oh my gosh. What, let's see, Rosie saying something oh,
Yeah, she's telling Land of Confusion is Genesis.
that's
But
it.
we all think of Phil Collins because he was the singer.
Yes, exactly. I could see something, but I was like, what is that say? You all do not want to hear me read. It sounds like I'm trying to learn all over again. So, well, Sharon, do you have that doc up?
Oh yeah, I do. I do. I
Okay.
do.
All
Okay.
right. Well, there's just three things. This is not like when me and Steph were doing it, because I just can't see to do really heavy research like I used to. But we've got one birthday, we do have one death we want to memorialize, and we also have one movie anniversary. So Sharon, I'm not sure which one comes up first. So
Okay. All
um
right. Prepare yourselves, people, because I have a very monotone voice. This is how I put my daughter to sleep every night. She thought I was just trying to read to her a nice tale, nice, interesting story, but I was really just kind of so. But I don't know. Anyway, I'll try to make it interesting.
okay.
All
Well,
right.
the only well, let me see what comes up first. So,
Okay.
oh, okay, there we go. In 2015, this is the anniversary. Cinderella Man was released here in the United
Oh yes,
States.
yeah. Oh, Tina.
Yeah.
Vince says the British puppet show was called Spitting Image.
Oh,
Oh, Rosie, thank you.
I vaguely remember that. It's just some things that they just kind of. I have a file cabinet in the back of my head, and if it's something that
They're
I don't,
still around, aren't they?
they might be. If it's
I
something
think
that
because didn't they for the coronation? Didn't they have a tent out there with puppets of Megan and Yacht Girl and Has No Balls,
precary,
Prick Harry?
precary. I don't know. They might have. I don't know what channel did I looked at. I don't even know what channel I looked at. But yeah, me and my mom went to see Cinderella Man the weekend it opened. We went on a Friday night, had a fantastic time, cried a lot, thought it was one of Russell's best performances. And then the morning after it opened, somebody messaged me and said, "Oh my God, Russell's been arrested." And the things that went through my mind, because I know what people can get arrested for. And I can't remember if that time had Kobe Bryant been arrested for certain things, but anyway, they said no, 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 nothing sexual. And then they told me the incident, and I was like, oh, this isn't good. And I had a lawyer friend that said, yeah, this could be an issue for someone who's a non-American. And if you had heard, Sharon, I don't know if you remember the media at the time this happened.
Oh, they were having a field day.
They
were having a field day. They were so happy to stomp on him.
Well, what was really bad was I heard a journalist on Fox said that this was what he did was as evil as 9/11. And I said, oh my God, we're actually equating what he did to 9/11.
They overreacted.
Yes. Yes. So
well, now that you bring him, I don't know. I mean, and I won't read it if nobody's interested in, but if you go to the New Yorker to July 3rd, 2005, there is an article by Nick Baumgarten called Whatever. And he basically breaks down exactly what happened. And it was information that nobody else in any of the other media, and I'm not saying, I'm not trying to justify violence here. I'm not saying it's a good idea to throw things at people. But I mean, when I read that and I was like, oh, that's what happened. And I was like, I know exactly what he was going through because my husband and I had very similar issues for a while there before I had Aaron. He was doing work down, no, don't laugh. He was doing work down in St. Croix. But they down in St. Croix, they had I forget what kind of plant it was. It was a petrochemical plant, and they were renovating it. And that's pretty much where my husband cut his teeth as far as his career was. And he was down there a lot. And things were faulty down there. I mean, it's not the richest island in the areas, it's very poor. And so, the wind and the weather and the salt and the sea and everything else in that area tends to take its toll on whatever's there. And that's one reason why his company was doing renovations, because it was in constant need of repair. And so, we've had similar situations. What had happened was that he was trying to get hold of his wife. And I think that was about the time that his wife had just had their firstborn son. You're halfway across the world. You're in a completely different time zone. You're trying to get a hold of your wife, and you call up the front desk saying there's something wrong with my line. I can't get through. And the jerk on the other end says, whatever.
Yeah.
It would be me or my husband that would be down in the lobby setting
this hotel that he was at was supposed to be some kind of boutique hotel that catered to celebrities. So this concierge should have known better. When I say he should have known better, but you ought to know how to handle celebrities and diffuse the situation. But that was his attempt to have his 15 minutes of fame, and now nobody knows who he is. Well, we have no idea. But basically, I know lawyer Stephanie, not our Stephanie, but another Stephanie that I know a whole lot of Stephanies. She looked into New York law, and she said they could ban him from the United States, where he can't come back here to make movies. And at that time, he was still at the height of his career.
Yeah.
So this is Sharon knows this, Stephanie knows this. I've said it before, I think in The Chosen. This is why I no longer have any respect for Opie. And I only call him Opie. I will not call him by his given name. The reason why is because he had just done an article in, I think, Time or Newsweek or one of those, where he called Russell one of his best friends. They were very close. Remember, they worked on A Beautiful Mind together.
Yeah, they did.
And when this incident happened, Opie never opened his mouth and said anything.
They did a 180. And I was astonished because, we were constantly getting reports about Sean Penn.
Yes.
And all these other people.
Yes.
Sean Penn would beat up a reporter and everybody be, oh, yeah, that's him.
And Alec Baldwin.
And Alec Baldwin.
Yes.
And here we have Russell.
Yes,
He just passes both of them.
yes,
And
exactly.
this is how they treat him.
That
This
was
it
how
was
they
just
treated him. But I mean,
mm,
that could have destroyed his career completely if he wasn't allowed back in the States again. Opie never opened his mouth, and I said I will never ever watch another one of those that jerks movies again. I have seen a couple of them, so I have gone back on my word as far as that. I saw Driven with Thor, Chris Hemsworth. Driven was an excellent movie, but Opie has not had a hit movie since Apollo 13, I think. So that's going back a while. But this is like this, oh, he's this go to guy. Why is he a go to guy if he hasn't had a hit movie in God knows how long? So this is why I don't have respect for Opie anymore. It's just like, yeah, this guy kind of needed you as a friend, and this is what you did. So no, I'm done. I'll look at Opie on the Andy Griffith Show. I might look at Opie on Happy Days, but that's the end of it. I'm done. I'm done with him, and don't know anything about his daughter. So we'll just we'll just save that. So oh my goodness. Um, but anyway, oh, I was just gonna say on Cinderella Man. Sharon, are you still there?
I'm sorry, I had mute on.
Oh,
Sorry.
um,
I'm
the
eating, so sorry.
the man who trained Russell for this part was his fight trainer, was
Oh yeah.
Angelo Dundee, who trained Muhammad Ali, Sugar Ray Leonard, and a whole bunch of other fighters. And he said Russell was so good at picking up boxing. Had he not become an actor, he couldn't have become a boxer.
Wow.
And it's like to have Angelo Dundee say that, knowing that Dundee had
That's
trained
awesome.
some of the greatest in boxing. Yeah, you're right. That's awesome.
Wow, that's awesome.
Oh,
I want to catch you up. Let's see. Rosie said Phil Collins starred in Oliver as a child.
you mean the Oliver, the
Uh-huh.
60?
Yeah. I
Yeah.
think I
Oh
remember hearing about
wow,
that at one point. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
And Vince says, "Tell Tina the British." Okay, I already told you that.
Okay.
Um, uh, let's see. What did they revamp, Vince? Um, Revamped the spitting image, I guess. But you said it's not good like it used to be.
Um,
Rosie said, "I've never heard Crow was ever arrested. Perhaps someone should explain to that concierge what a concierge does
thank,
exactly."
thank
I'd be
you.
like, "Give me your manager right now. Get me on the phone with him.
And
I
that
want to tell him about
concierge,
you."
that concierge was another one of those like,
Yeah.
uh, oh, I only do this in my part time. In my full time, I'm actually an actor. One of those,
You and everybody else in New York.
Yeah. Yeah,
Um,
thank you. Thank you. So no, he had his 15 minutes of fame. Nobody ever
mhm.
heard about him again.
Yeah.
Russell did go to court, and um my lord, I can't remember his wife's name. It used to be his wife. I can't even remember her name. She was pregnant with their second child. And I think that's why he was trying so desperately to get
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. I mean, I seem to recall it was, his
And
wife just had a baby. I don't remember
well,
which one, but I mean,
yeah, nobody knew she was pregnant with their second child.
yeah.
And when they went to court, the media was jostling them so much that she almost fell, and he
Ooh.
grabbed hold of her, and that was part of the reason why, was because they didn't want anything to happen to their unborn baby.
Uh-huh.
But they hadn't come out and said anything. But no, I think he got probably some kind of suspended sentence or something. They gave money to the concierge. We've never
Yeah.
heard of him again.
Yeah.
Um, and
Rosie said you find out who your real friends are when the chips are down.
See,
And then
Rosie,
Soul says, out of the three, I'd rather hang out with Russell than Sean Penn. And me too. Me
me
too.
too.
Absolutely.
Me
Hands down.
too.
And Dopey Opie. Jacobson Dopey Opie.
Yeah, that I couldn't help but lose respect for him. And my mother, who was never a fan of Russell's, I mean, we would go to his movies. She loved Gladiator,
Mhm.
loved LA Confidential. She really wasn't a fan of his, but she said when she heard him talk in an interview after he had been after he was arrested, he was out. He was doing some interviews, and he was saying how lonely he felt when he was in that jail cell, and how he was praying to God to just let the truth come out. And she
Yeah.
said, I really started. She could kind of pick up on things, and
Yeah.
she never fully became a fan, but it was like she started really respecting him.
Yeah.
And
And that's why I like that article. I mean, it's, it's like, and it basically it was the attitude of whatever. And he's talking about,
yes,
it's probably it was, and it was real popular then,
yes,
because, it was just this very dismissive and, not the
yep,
thing to say to somebody who's trying to get hold of their
yep,
family on the other side of the
yes,
world.
yes,
um,
exactly,
I want to say,
exactly.
let's see, yeah, Opie directed Solo, which I have not seen because they chose the wrong
Solo
person for
loves money.
Solo. I'm sorry.
It,
Soul Assassin and I do not want to stand in front of Alec Baldwin. That's for sure.
no, if you're going to act with Alec Baldwin, you make sure you're behind Alec Baldwin, not in front of him.
Yeah.
He's got,
Yeah, and Soul Assassin Opie had to step in and finish the film after the previous directors were fired.
yeah.
Vince said had to do a quick search. Thought you were talking about the Opie from Opie and Anthony, or Opie and
No, Opie, Eddie Murphy used to call him Opie
oh
Cunningham.
yeah, yeah.
But no, I mean, I know a lot of people know him as Richie Cunningham on Happy Days.
Yeah,
I
that's what
know
I
him as
grew up
Opie.
with.
Yeah.
Yeah, I grew up with Happy Days.
So, and yeah, it was at the tail end of like, well, I think Mayberry RFD had come on, which did replace the Andy Griffith show. So I was around then. So that's what I know him as, Opie. But I loved when Eddie Murphy would call him Opie Cunningham, Opie Cunningham. It was just like, I thought that was great. Like, yeah, just keep rubbing it in. But, but yeah, they bring him into like, the only reason why I think he agreed to finish up Solo is because he is friends with George and Steven, and I think all of them may have run around together. George and Francis, or well, I would say Francis Ford Coppola. Um, I think some of them are older than him, but they all kind of
Well,
hung
remember
around.
Ron Howard starred in American Graffiti.
Yes, so that's where he and George would know each other from.
Yes.
And oh, good grief, I forgot all about that movie. I forgot all about that. I've only seen it the one time. I think I got
Yeah.
bored. I hope I didn't say it's something offensive, but I was just kind of like, oh, George, I don't know what you're doing with this. Oh, so let's see. I was trying to see. Okay, well, Sharon, I think I'm going to change the pictures in the slideshow. I hope.
Okay. Well, when did you want me to read what you had set up?
We're getting ready.
Okie doke.
So no. Oh, this first. As many of you probably know, we lost Tina Turner in the last couple of weeks. And I don't know how many of you are familiar with her or her singing, or where she was with Ike, who was the husband that beat on her until she finally just walked out without a cent and pretty much with just the clothes on her back, and went on to continue her career. And I think I made a comment later, well, when somebody said something about, their marriage, and he was like, well, she's famous now, isn't she? And I was like, oh my gosh, she's always been famous. I see caps in the chat. Sharon, you
Caps?
there?
I'm here.
Okay, I see caps, I think.
Caps. Oh, yeah. Soul Assassin's saying R.I.P. Tina Turner. Who runs Bartertown? Who runs Bartertown?
Absolutely.
But
Absolutely.
great voice, great legs. Absolutely.
Yes. And unfortunately, I didn't get a picture of her with her legs.
I know. She showed him to great effect.
Oh
That's
my
for sure.
gosh. And my mom got to meet Tina in Bowling Green, Kentucky, which is where Western Kentucky University is located. She and Ike were doing a small venue on the campus. My mother went because she always liked Ike and Tina. And after the show, she got to sit at a table and talk to Tina Turner
That's awesome.
for a little while. And it wasn't that long
Wow.
after that that Tina walked out on Ike.
Oh my goodness.
But my mother always just.
What'd your mother say to her?
That, you know what?
I hope it was inspirational enough for her to walk away from
I was like, Rita, did you say something
Did
to
you
make
say
her
something?
walk out on Ike?
Good for you. Good for you, Rita.
Good for you. But I know, it was like when I was growing up, like when Ike and Tina would be on one of the variety shows. I don't know who. Maybe Ed Sullivan. I don't know. And she would start doing Proud Mary, and our neighbors across the street, we could hear them singing along.
Singing along with it.
Oh my gosh. And it was just like, oh, the whole neighborhood is lighting Oh my gosh. But no, when I heard she passed away, I was just like, oh my gosh, we're losing so many of the great ones.
We are. We're seeing the big portion of the generation that we grew up with.
Yes.
Leave,
Yes, absolutely.
Soul Assassin said, I heard her Mad Max dress weighed 70 pounds. No wonder she had amazing legs. Exactly. Exactly.
Oh my
that dress looked like it was a beast.
It does. It really
did.
does.
It looked like it was a beast.
Oh my gosh. But yeah, I wanted to make sure that I mentioned something about her because I read her biography, autobiography, a number of years ago. And I know she became a Buddhist, a practicing Buddhist. And people used to think, oh, her voice sounds like she drinks whiskey or something. She never drank alcohol. She never smoked.
Wow. She just had that really great voice.
Yes, just oh my gosh, one of a kind. So I wanted to say rest in peace, Tina. Yeah,
rest in peace.
Yes, we're gonna miss you. Her albums now are in the top 10 on Amazon Records.
Okay.
And because I was just like, well, that happens when we lose somebody. Everybody goes out and starts buying, their stuff up. Okay, all right. Well, Sharon, I think so. That's the one.
Vince shared some information. It was shared it to Jacob Ironside, but the '70s rock fan is doing a Ray Stevenson tribute show on Monday.
Oh, really?
Yep.
That's somebody else. That's somebody else we lost. I mean, unfortunately, I can't keep up with the news as well as I used to. I try to. I don't even remember when I heard Tina Turner passed away. I heard about Ray Stevenson. I keep thinking there's somebody else and I can't remember who it was. Oh, I'll probably hear about it. But okay, well, Sharon, I guess get out your Google Doc.
Okay, it's up.
All right. Okay, well, this is the one. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. All right. This is the one birthday that we're going to celebrate. His birthday was on May 30th. Sharon, you know how we always joke about dead boyfriends?
Uh-oh.
This is my dead boyfriend.
This is your dead boyfriend. Okay.
Boyfriend. Sharon's going to read what little bio I could find and hopefully copy and paste for her, but
Okay.
this is Irving Thalberg, and he is considered one of the greatest producers in Hollywood history. So Kathleen Kennedy can shut the F up.
Yes. Thank you.
All
Okay.
right, Sharon, go
I'll
ahead.
read
And
it.
I'm going to try to go
Okay.
through the pictures as you talk
Okay.
about him.
All right. Irving Grant Thalberg, spelling Thalberg, was born May 30th, 1899, in Brooklyn, New York, of German Jewish parents, and was diagnosed with a congenital heart disease. Doctors said he would be dead by the age of 30. He graduated from high school, and after taking a night class, Irving started working his way into the burgeoning motion picture business. One of the first films he produced was for Universal, the 1923 Hunchback of Notre Dame, starring Lon Chaney Sr. Irving went to work for Metro Goldwyn Mayer, in the mid 1920s, and by 1925 he was made head of production. As a film producer during the early years of motion pictures, Irving was nicknamed the Boy Wonder for his youth and ability to select scripts, choose actors, gather production staff, and make profitable films, including Grand Hotel, China Seas, A Night at the Opera, Mutiny on the Bounty, Camille, and The Good Earth. His films carved out an international market, projecting a seductive image of American life brimming with vitality and rooted in democracy and personal freedom. During the 1920s and 30s, he synthesized and merged the world of stage drama and literary classics with Hollywood films. Thalberg created numerous new stars and groomed their screen images. Among them were Lon Chaney, Ramon Navarro, Greta Garbo, John
Gilbert, yeah.
Gilbert, Lionel Barrymore, Joan Crawford, Clark Gable, Jean Harlow, Wallace Beery, Spencer Tracy, Louise Rayner, the,
Mm-hmm.
the Marx Brothers, Al Jolson, Carol Lombard, Frederick March, Gary Cooper, Charlie Chaplin, Mary Pickford, Douglas Fairbanks, Walt Disney, and Erich von Stroheim, whom he fired twice.
Fired it twice.
Among his most notable stars were Norman Shearer, who became his wife and the queen of MGM.
Yep.
He had the ability to combine quality with commercial success and was credited with bringing his artistic aspirations in line with the demands of the audiences. Thalberg died in September 14th, 1936, in Santa Monica, California. He was 37, and he and Norma had 2 children.
So he lived 7 years more than the doctors had predicted he
Pretty
was going
much,
to
yeah.
live. He died, I think the causes were pneumonia, but with him having
Oh, yeah.
congenital
Yeah,
heart
heart condition.
yeah.
Oh, that's
Uh,
so young. That's so young.
so young and talented
Mm-hmm.
and great. And I'm sorry if I'm choking up because
Yeah, no,
think,
I mean,
I
well,
think
just the list of names, amazing.
all those names and many of them came to work for MGM. And yeah, people did accuse Norma Shearer sometimes, well, your husband's the producer, so that's why you got the part. But she had talent and she was
Yes, she did.
beautiful. And what hurts me is that, yes, the Academy Awards have a humanitarian award in his name, the Irving Thalberg Award. And that bitch Kathleen Kennedy got one. She doesn't have any of his talent
Yeah.
or abilities. And when I say yes, she made good coffee, I don't mean she made Nescafe.
Yeah.
So no, I apologize. I told you all the last time. My neurologist said sometimes I would feel a little more emotional because of what happened. So yeah, but yeah, it hurts to think that that bitch is walking around with an Irving Thalberg award.
I know.
Why she thinks she's worthy of one? We all know she's not. The reason why he fired Erich von Stroheim was because Von Stroheim, great director. He had a tendency to go over budget. That's because if he had prostitutes in his movie, he hired real
Oh
prostitutes.
my God.
If he wanted caviar in the scene, he got real caviar. Von Stroheim just spent money like water. Thalberg had to fire him twice because he's like, you can't go over budget like this while that bitch Kathleen Kennedy is sitting around. Oh, big deal. The movie cost $300 million.
Yeah.
Oh my
Just
God. So it did rub me the wrong way when I
Yeah.
had heard, yes, they're going to give her all these awards and pretend like she's the greatest thing in Hollywood since sliced bread. When Thalberg died, the studios shut down because it was just like everybody was shook up. It was just like when Carol Lombard, when she was on her Bond tour, when she got killed in the plane crash, the studios shut down because they were just like, this is one of ours. We can't believe this happened. And Carol Lombard had talent. Thalberg had talent. What the hell has Kathleen Kennedy got?
Yeah, she made good coffee.
Makes good coffee.
Well, if you got to be good at something.
I gotta be good at something. Yeah.
I wanted to catch you up. Dead Man Walking dropped by. He said he can't stay. Great to see you. He's on the road in Kansas. So wherever you catch this Dead Man, good luck to you. Bon voyage. Be safe driving.
Yes,
get there
absolutely.
safely.
Absolutely.
And Rosie says it takes nothing away from Thalberg.
No. I mean, that was like a consolation prize. Like I said, we had all heard they're going to give her all these awards, and that bitch ain't going anywhere. As far as I think we all hung on to the hope maybe they'll fire her. Maybe they'll see that the woman, she is not a good financial manager, but they're still holding on to her. I hope this Indiana Jones movie falls flat on its freaking face. I want it to fail so hard. I want Iger to fail. I want him to lose his legacy. I want her to be showed up for the stupid, rotten bitch she is. And whoever comes along, I know, how do I want to put this without being insulting or hurting feelings or anything? But I know we all love Harrison Ford, but Harrison Ford was too old to be for this role. And
it's just the fact that he's the way he's agreed to hand everything over to this Marxist
regime.
Person.
Yeah.
I'm not even going to use the word woke anymore. It's not wokeism. It's not. That implies there's something good. There's nothing good about these kinds of people and what they're trying to do. Nothing good. It's pure Marxism.
But
it's pure Marxism. That's what's going on, and that's what needs to be named. You cannot conquer something until you've named it. Put a label on it. I believe in labels. And I'm sorry to interrupt, Tina. I just wanted to catch you up because everyone's saying let's see. Soul says real prostitutes, that's next level method casting.
So I think he had prostitutes in 2 of his movies, and they swear they were real prostitutes.
And Rosie says, look at it this way, nothing's getting shut down when Kathleen Kennedy leaves.
She just keeps spending and spending and spending.
I know.
If I was the chairman of the board at Disney, she is going to have to be held accountable. And I think she's got too many yes men around her. Bless you. I think she's got too many yes men around her because the Cannes Film Festival, that seemed like a slap in the face. It was like she didn't. Why would they think that movie was so good? They were going to release it 1 month before the public saw it. And now for 1 month, we're all going to hear what a disaster this movie is.
Yeah.
Why would you do that?
I don't know.
Well, anyway, she must be making Bob Iger some fantastic coffee.
Don't want to. Hound says, "Don't want to know where KK got the milk from."
With other
And it
on,
says to Rosie, it shuts down because she's still there.
yes, yes.
Um, Rosie says Harrison Ford is such a sellout. So sad because I do too. Oh my God.
Me too,
Let me
Rosie.
tell you about the shrine I had in high school. I had an entire corner of my room plastered with every picture I could get my hands on.
Mm-hmm.
And I know I wasn't too crazy because I had a good friend in high school who was doing the exact same thing.
We
She did
all,
it
we
was
all
incredible. And she
love
was
him.
introduced me to Blade Runner. But oh my God, yeah, he was, and just to see what he's doing now, it's kind of like, you know,
Well, I mean, we all
he worked
knew.
so hard to do all of that. And I wanted him to get an award for his work in Witness. I thought that was the
Well,
penultimate of his work.
he was nominated for an Oscar for best
Yes.
actor. If anybody in the chat knows who beat him that year, I don't remember. Um, it's been a while. If somebody tells me it was Tom Hanks, I'm gonna punch something. But I can't remember what else came out that year. But
Um,
anyway, no, Harrison Ford. Yeah, we all loved him, and I keep hearing people saying we still love him, but I, I don't know.
Jacob says, I have one thing to say to Kathleen Kennedy. Give me back my Star Wars, you daughter of a mouse. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. And Vince says, see it from Harrison's perspective. Planes ain't cheap.
Well, that was like when
Planes aren't cheap. No.
when Rise of Palpatine, which is all I'm going to refer to it as, when Rise of Palpatine came out, and people were saying, oh, I was really surprised that Harrison Ford was in that movie. And I was like, they backed a Brinks truck up to his door and said, how many 20s will it take for you to do
Yes,
this?
exactly. They had to have been.
Because
They had to have been.
he, even from what I understand, in his scene with Mr. Driver, he wasn't even shaved. Why would a ghost be unshaven?
Yeah.
And he was unshaven, which I didn't see the whole movie. I only saw part of it. But even my baby sister told me he was unshaven in Blade Runner 2049. And he had on like these old
He was
clothes.
playing himself.
Yeah. And it was
Playing
just like,
himself. There was nothing of Decker in him. Nothing.
nope. Nope.
And it was nonsensical to me. I just flat out say I did not like 2049.
My
It set me off on the wrong foot, and
well,
it's not even about it, just the way it was done. I just was like, I did not like it at all.
Yeah, and Shanta said, how did she put it when we were talking? She asked me, had I seen it? And I said, yeah, I looked at about 45 minutes and said I couldn't stand any more of the slow-mo.
Yeah.
And self-indulgence on the director's part. And she was agreeing with me, and then she said, yeah, I think Harrison Ford, they just called him up one day and said, hey, come in. Oh, it don't matter what you're wearing. Just come in. We need to shoot a few things. But she said it was the sequel that wasn't needed.
Yeah, nobody asked for it.
Yeah. So
Soul Assassin Indy 5 says Indy 5 is not looking good from all the leaks. Most fans turned against it and that actress. It's not crazy until you have a lock of hair in your shrine shirt.
Oh my God.
Oh, if you'd only known me at the time, I would have been, oh, please. If I'd had any opportunity. That's how obsessed I was.
Fleabag was, well, I had pictures all in my room too, Sharon, so don't worry.
Yeah.
Fleabag, I hear other YouTubers saying, I don't get her. Why do they think she's so talented? Why do they think she's so got it? She definitely does not have it. Yeah, Daniel Craig likes her. Well, I don't really like him anymore either.
That's not much of a recommendation.
No. Mm-mm. So, and she worked on Solo. as I think many of us know.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Um,
I,
Vince
I
says Blade Runner is great. Him and Rutger Hauer. I love Rutger Hauer.
when
Oh,
Roger Howard does that scene,
monologue. Yeah,
yeah, at the end, oh my
that's
gosh, it
just.
just tears me up.
And to me, it would be like, why do it? You cannot do a scene. There's no way you can top that. Absolutely no way. And the reason why Blade Runner works is it has that punk element. And punk
Yes,
was scary at the time. Punk
yes,
was punk was not romanticized and softened by goth. It was punk. It was, and for us Americans, it was still very a very scary element. I mean, by that time, by the 80s, the Brits were like, oh, we're over that. But for
right,
us, it was like, and there was still that very punk element to it. And he was such a wild card. He was scary. And there's just no way to top that. And I'd be like, leave it alone, leave it the way it is, just don't do it. Don't add to it. Don't do anything.
it's
You
just
know,
it's some
Decker
stuff.
and Rachel went off into the sunset, and you know, I don't know.
It's
That's
just
just
it's just some stuff that should never be. If you're gonna remake something bad. Say, okay, this movie,
yeah,
Plan 9 from Outer Space. It's like,
yes,
okay, there might be a germ of a good movie in there. We'll remake it.
Um,
But
Town says Assassin Indy 5 should be called Indiana Jones and the Flush at the Toilet.
I've heard a lot of, yeah. I
Yeah,
mean,
and Harrison Ford gave 0 Fs in those Ray movies. Oh, absolutely.
well,
Just 0 Fs.
remember, well, I'm saying remember, this just happened. A few YouTubers are reporting that during the making of this movie, they were, remember, he'd already hurt himself because
Yeah.
Kathleen Kennedy had him on top of a moving train and he hurt himself and was out for weeks. Okay, three stuntmen or stand ins were trying to help him onto a horse and he turned on them and forgive my language, forgive my French. He's like, get the fuck away from me. I know I'm 80 years old. I want the character to be like he's 80 years old. Well, why the hell do I want to see an 80-year-old Indiana Jones? Harrison.
Yeah.
And they're trying to keep you from breaking your neck so the entire production isn't shut down
Yeah,
again.
exactly.
Oh my gosh. Now, if I'm going
Although I will say that I had a great uncle who was a cowboy, a legitimate cowboy,
yes.
such as they were in the 20th century. But he rode his horse until he was 90.
Oh, I believe that.
Yeah. So, but he probably would have done a lot better than that. My goodness.
Oh my gosh. But no, I can understand them being like, oh my God, he's getting ready to get on a horse. We better go over and try to help him. And all they were trying to do is help. It's just like, yeah, we don't want this shut down again. And honestly, and you all know from what I've said in the past, I am not a big fan of Mr. Thomas Cruise Maypother, graduate of St. Xavier High School, who vomited on the track and field, and I know witnesses. um, I'm not a fan of his, but I will say this: Harrison Ford needs to just sit his ass down because Tom Cruise could run rings around him. I mean, Tom Cruise is doing motorcycle stunts in his Mission Impossible movie, and you're like, I know his director was thinking, oh my God, if Tom Cruise dies, this is the end. This movie is shut down. And Tom Cruise does this incredible stunt, and then he's like, okay, I can do it again. And they're all like, no, we don't want to risk it. I admire him for that. And yes, he is way younger than Harrison Ford, but Tom Cruise doesn't look like he's going to break a hip every time he moves. Harrison Ford does. And Sharon, I really hate saying that because, like we said, we all liked him.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't know. So
Mhm.
I guess we'll see. I mean, Little Mermaid
Yeah.
has
Oh, Rosie says, "Is it just me, or does everyone else recoil just by looking at Fleabag? They love her because she's a girl boss and her politics are deemed correct." That's for
yes,
true. That's it.
yes. I knew
And
I never looked at her. I never looked at her show. I would see her on stuff, and it was just like I just took an automatic dislike to her.
Vince says Ridley Scott and Blade Runner screenwriter David Peoples confirmed that Hauer significantly modified the speech. Didn't know that.
Yes, yes. I had heard. I don't remember where I heard that. I might have been looking at a making of, and that is such an incredible movie.
Mark, hi Mark. I'm sorry to interrupt.
That's
Mark
okay.
just came into the chat.
Hi, Mark. How are you? I'm so glad you could join us. Um, yeah, Blade Runner is so incredible. And I was like, I don't even know how anybody got it into their heads that yeah, I'm gonna make a sequel to Blade Runner. And it's like, well, why? Why would you even think that? And I mean, I could kind of see Aliens because it was more of like a, an action movie and everything. I loved Aliens,
Yeah.
but I never saw Alien 3. Rita saw Alien 3 and said it was okay. Question mark.
Oh dear.
And I didn't
Then
see Alien.
says Dangerous Days making a Blade Runner. Is that where could I find that?
What's it called again?
Is it Vince says something about Dangerous Days making Blade Runner? Is that a documentary about, and where would we be able to find that? Is that on YouTube?
I was gonna say I would go on YouTube because
Okay.
everybody uploads everything to YouTube
Yeah.
if they can get away with it. Oh my gosh. Oh,
Hound says won't be surprised if Fleabag is literally KK's daughter. Well, that wouldn't
uh,
surprise me either.
well, we know she's not. Oh my god, I hate thinking there's two of them walking around. You know she has a twin.
Does she?
KK does.
Oh my.
I hate the idea that there's two of them walking around.
Well, she may be completely different.
I know somebody said they saw the two of them together at some event and it was scary how much they look like each other. So yeah, she could be completely different. And it's like, now y'all ain't gonna assault me thinking I'm my sister.
No.
Oh my gosh. But yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know how Indy 5 is going to do. I know Tom Connors from Midnight's Edge is saying that, well, the public is not really paying attention to what we normally do. Those of us that are kind of in the fandom and everything. And a lot of the Mission Impossible age people might go see might go see Indy 5. The thing is, I think Tom Cruise and Paramount smell blood in the water because Mission Impossible is being released earlier. So Indy 5 is only going to have about 12 days to make money because that Mission Impossible is going to clean up. So, yeah, I think Paramount's like, yeah, we don't think it's going to do that well. We're going to release Tom Cruise's movie a little bit earlier and see what happens. So I don't know.
I just every year it's been like this for the last 5 or 6 years, and all I keep hearing is slightly different iterations of the same thing that I saw 10 years ago.
Yes.
And I'm not hearing anything new. Or, it's some sequel to something that had it already sequels or sequels that nobody asked for, or it's just, I'm really starting to think that Back to the Future 2 had it right when you saw Jaws 24.
Yeah.
I think that's what it's coming to. And it's like,
I remember
at this
that.
point, I'd rather see Jaws 24.
Yeah, exactly. No, I occasionally will have something that's not like anything else, and people will talk about it. And I guess the only one of these in recent years that's been kind of a hit is oh my gosh, the movie that won Best Picture at the Oscars this year. anywhere, anything, something, whatever, all at once. I guess because it was unique. It wasn't like anything that we've ever seen before. And it was a hit at the box office. And it was like, yes, some people wanted something different, but Sharon, that movie that you saw, what with um, Idris Elba,
Oh, yeah, Idris Elba, and
he
oh,
wasn't. He
she
wasn't.
was the Snow Queen in Narnia,
Um,
the Ice
not
Queen.
not Uma Thurman, not
No,
Kate
no,
Blanchett,
British actress
Tilda Swinton.
Tilda Swinton.
Yeah,
Yes, it was an odd little movie. I mean, it was entertaining. I mean, it was something different,
there
and
you go.
it was, it was good. I mean, and I liked Idris Elba, and I liked Tilda Swinton, and it
Hmm.
ended kind of on a really bizarre little note, but the subject matter kind of lent itself to that, and I think it was like something to do with Arabian
Yes,
tales.
Hound.
Oh, what?
Oh, I
Tilda
saw
Swinton.
Hound. I thought I saw Hound said Tilda Swinton.
Yeah, Tilda Swinton.
Okay, yeah, I was kind
Um,
of putting the letters together.
um,
And I that was a movie I
that's the last time
wanted
I
to
was in the
see.
movie theater.
Yeah, that was one I wanted to see after you had recommended it. But I mean, yeah, occasionally we'll get like the movie that won Best Picture, or we'll get The Northman. We'll get last. Did you ever get to see Last Night in Soho?
No, I didn't. I need to.
I've got that on Blu-ray. I'm gonna have to try it out.
Vince says independent cinema is on the rise, just like in other media. Tell us more about independent cinema.
Oh my gosh!
Vince, do you what I've never heard of them.
I mean, they. I think the independents are the one that are going to keep Hollywood fresh. In that you're not getting what we always get. We're not getting the
Right.
typical superhero movies. We're not getting a sequel to something that came out 30 years ago.
Yeah. Where is independent cinema showing up though? On YouTube or on other
Well,
platforms?
it's like where you look for it, and I'll tell you somebody you could sub to that can tell you all about independent cinema, and that's Chris Gore.
Chris Gore. Okay.
Chris Gore, who I have, his channel is
Okay,
called,
Rosie. Thanks.
yeah, it's called Film Threat.
Okay.
And I don't always agree with Chris on everything, but the thing is, I listen to him talk and I'm like, oh my God, when he's gone, we're going to lose so much. He's got so much knowledge about everything. And yeah, sometimes I might sit and listen to him and say, no, there's no way I would ever go see that movie. And then there's others. He was the first one that I heard talking about. It was just like every conversation, it was either the RRR or the something anywhere, whatever movie. It was like he was on a personal campaign that everybody has to see these movies. Sharon, that's something else. The foreign market,
Yeah.
as far as like India, Korea,
Hmm.
and like that, they are giving us different movies. There's a movie out now, and I'm going to mispronounce it, so if somebody knows it, Sinshu. That movie did not cost that much money, and it's like the John Wick or whatever country it came from. Where you
Oh,
just got this man that it's World War II. The man just really wants to be left alone. You know he's been a warrior. The Nazis keep picking on him, and he just starts tearing into Nazis left and right.
okay. Okay.
So it's pretty much like John Wick if John Wick was let loose during World War II and told, go get the Nazis, they killed your dog. And he went after them. But people are really liking the movie because it's just very clear cut. And it was a cheap movie as far as the budget, for making it. And here we are spending 200, 250, 300 million, 350 million for a freaking movie that
Yeah.
may not even The word is it may take Indiana Jones 5 $1 billion to break even. That doesn't make any sense.
No.
And what just came out that they said cost 100 million. Um, oh my gosh. Okay, help me out, you all.
Hound wants to know, is RRR really good, even with all those fantastical stunts?
I didn't get Hound. I haven't had a chance to look at it. Ovid sent me a copy of it because it was on Netflix. I didn't, and then that was when I had my stroke, so I didn't get to look at it.
Yeah.
All I can say is Chris Gore is just like it's for him. It's probably the greatest movie of the last 20 years. He thinks so highly of it, and from what I understand, the men act like men in it. And the one thing that you might take exception, but you have to remember the time period and also who they were fighting against. It is about India still a colony to the British Empire, and they want their independence, which they did eventually get. So the British may not come off very well in the movie, but from what Chris Gore said, if you can put that aside and just remember, look, they're fighting for their independence just the way we were
Right.
with Great Britain, back in the day.
Yeah.
If you keep that in mind, you will really enjoy it. But I mean, I saw the clips where there's motorcycles flying through the air and swinging around, and tigers and lions and everything coming out of cages. And it was just like, oh my gosh, this movie looks fantastic. So I am hoping that I can watch it, but I don't know if I can read the subtitles. That's the problem.
Vince says Ray Stevenson was in RRR.
Was he really? Oh my God.
Others are talking about a movie called Sisu or Sisu, Sisu.
Yes, that's the one. I think it's a Finnish movie.
Is it? Okay.
But the hero is just like he's a vet of maybe World War One. But now the Nazis have taken over his country. The man wants to be left alone. He finds some gold.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
The Nazis are after him, and he is just like, he just goes after them.
Soul says Sisu is good, I hear, and the movie poster supposedly says the dog lives, so people won't get angry. Mark says RRR is really good. It has some typical Indian plot lines, but still really great.
Yeah.
And Sisu is Finnish for guts. Oh my goodness.
My kind of movie.
Tommy and the Guinea Pig Collective.
Yes. Hello there, Guinea Pig Collective.
Hello.
Yeah, but those are the movies, if I was going to go back to the movies, that's what I would want to see. And my only problem, because somebody was asking me, they were recommending some anime to me, and I said, but the problem is I can't read the subtitles, or I may have problems reading the subtitles.
Yeah.
And unless it's in English language, it would be hard for me to follow it. That was one reason why I was talking to the girl who did my hair, and she was saying she would not have ordinarily have gone to see Mario, even though she played Nintendo as a kid. But she said she and her husband decided to see it because it was so bright and flashy.
Oh.
And colors were so brilliant. And I said, yeah, I saw a clip from it. And I was like, this might be the one reason why I would see it, is that what ocular nerves haven't been affected, those colors and everything would come through to me. So let's see. Well, I think, let's see. I'm trying to think what else.
Vince says anime also comes in dubbed form.
Yes. And Bruce, I don't know if Bruce is still here. Bruce,
I haven't seen him comment. I don't know if Bruce, if you're still here, speak up.
Speak up. Bruce had gifted me a copy of Cowboy Bebop, the movie and the series, and I was just wondering if they have an English dub on there, because at least I I would be able to follow the story that way while I'm watching it.
Yeah.
So I because that's something I would love to watch. And Sharon, there you go again. Netflix decided they were going to do a live action Cowboy Bebop, knowing
Oh
how
gosh.
loved that show is, and it fell flat on
I
its
tell
face.
you what, Netflix has been batting 1,000 on all its decisions. I wonder who's controlling that.
Would that
I
be
mean, first it's their movie choice. First they do this, and then they have this prince that shows up, and his yacht
and,
girl
and his
wife,
wife?
and
Or as they said, what was it he says on South Park? How dare you talk
young
about me and my
prince's
bitch
stupid
wife?
wife,
You
trash
know,
can troll.
you married her, you're stuck with her. Oh my God.
I mean, we've got an international incident going on. We've already got Brits and Americans arguing with each other over who is going to actually take claim of them. The Brits are saying, we
Nobody.
don't want him. He's not ours anymore. He's yours. And we're like, excuse us. This is why we had a revolution against you people.
Y'all
Just get
take
rid of people like Prince Harry.
Y'all take it back.
I mean, it's I told you years ago, I told other people, this is going to cause international problems. And
Yes.
nobody cares about them. They've made us care.
Nope. Nope. They're, oh my gosh. What is Ben saying something about, oh, I can't read. Oh, their privacy. Okay. Does that say privacy tour laughing? Yes, yes, yeah. We want privacy. We want privacy. But we're gonna go on tour. Oh my gosh! And what's her name? She's at it again, and it's just like, what's her name? Amber Heard. She's at it again. It's just like,
Yeah.
please just stay in Spain and keep crapping on the sidewalks and just shut up. But I was very happy that Johnny Depp's movie did well at the Cannes Film Festival. So I was glad to hear that.
Yeah.
And I was trying to think what other. No, Sharon. I
Yeah.
mean, like you
Rosie says
said,
the start of World War III, Harry and Meghan. They'd love that. They'd love that. They would love to take credit for that.
yes,
Ugh.
absolutely. Oh my gosh. But no, Sharon. Is there anything? Oh, excuse me. Is there anything that you are personally anticipating as a movie that's coming
No,
out this year?
I mean, honestly, I've not really been paying attention to, I can't, I haven't really kept up. I mean,
And
I've been watching a few favorite shows. Oh, we just got finished watching, it was the final season. There was only 5 seasons. The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. I
yes,
thought the whole thing was terrific. I
yes.
thought the whole thing, and it was so much fun watching her wear all the dresses from that time
Oh,
period.
I love that
I
time
mean, I was
period
just like
anyway.
squeeing over every little dress she wore, and just amazing actors, just incredible acting, and
I'm,
just, I mean, it's just been wonderful.
I'm trying to read some. Well, oh my goodness. I think I see Rosie says something about Harry and Meghan and Mark.
Rosie says, I don't see Megan letting go in her princessness, but the thing is she's not a princess. She is not a princess.
And she's
That's
just a
that's what she's
duchess.
counting on Americans being too stupid to understand. Because we've got 200 years of not having a monarchy, so we don't
Except for the king.
learn what the hierarchies are, and we don't learn what titles are because we don't have them. And she's counting on that. And she's already got her little fan club calling it. They're wanting her to be empress. Oh,
Oh yeah,
she should
I heard
have
that, and I was
marching
like,
the
Britain
royal
hasn't had
queen
an
and
empire
shove
since the
Queen Elizabeth
'40s.
aside and say, I'm princess now, I'm queen now. They think that's what should have happened because she's popular. And
Mm-mm-mm.
and she's counting on that. She's not a princess, she never will be, ever. No one here in this country is just, I mean, if yacht girl comes up to me, demands that I call her, that will start World War III. That will start a
Yep.
whole new type of war,
Oh my.
because ain't no this Texan ain't putting up with that, especially
No.
after what she did in Uvalde.
Oh my God. Oh yeah. Yeah. Stephanie. Yeah. Stephanie was telling me about that. So, well, I
Yeah,
think Rosie says something about. She said something about Miss
she thinks
Maisel.
she's a princess. Of course, yeah, she's a narc.
Uh, the clothing was. Oh, Rosie, I'm kind of getting the gist of what you're saying. Are you saying the clothing design, the costume design for Mrs. Maisel?
Yes, the clothing alone was worth watching, Mrs. Maisel.
Yes,
Yes, the
yes.
clothing alone. She's just done
And
it. And the actress, I think, is just beautiful. She was beautiful.
oh,
I
and see
envy her so much.
that, and they're getting rid of that and giving us another season of Rings of Power.
Oh gosh. Well, I mean, they kind of had like a set amount of seasons that they wanted to do with Mrs. Maisel, and it was and the whole at the risk of giving away spoilers, the whole crux of Midge's journey is to become a famous comedian.
Right,
And
right.
so, throughout the series, you have other comedians that were popular in the 50s, like Lenny Bruce
Yes.
and Carol Burnett. Though the woman they got to play Carol Burnett was
I was
hilarious.
going to say
I mean,
Sid
she was just a
Caesar and
perfect Carol Burnett, and just all these other people. But it's about her journey and all the setbacks she's faced and all the decisions,
right,
and
right.
then dealing with family life and crazy parents and the mob.
Yes, yes.
And it was wonderful to be able to sit and go through a character's journey without wokeness, without anything but what was in situ of that time period.
Right.
Beautiful. It
And
was
I'm glad
such a
I'm
pleasure to
glad
go
that
through all
they
that.
understood it, the writers. I mean that they were actually having a character on a journey and
Yes.
not just here's the girl boss,
Yeah.
there's
And it
that
ended,
queen. Yeah,
like I said, at the risk of giving spoilers, it ended exactly where you were hoping she would end up. She
right,
set a goal and she got to that goal. And it
right.
happened in such a great it just kind of brought it full circle, and it was a lovely way to end. And again, it ended and I don't want anything more.
There you
In
go.
a little while I'm going to want to go revisit it because it was such a great story.
Such a great story. And see, that's good. Since the writers are currently on strike in Hollywood, did anybody even know they were on strike? Um, I mean, one of their complaints is AI, and you're like, well, we can't tell the difference anyway. None of you can write. Can the AI
Yeah,
write you better
AI is writing better than they are. That's
than
for
they
sure.
are? And somebody, okay, I want to credit this to Clownfish TV, but I'm not definite. Um, Somebody used one of the AI apps and they put the suggestions for making a good Star Wars sequel. And they said the AI pumped out. It was the story was kind of But one of the questions they asked the AI is, would you kill off Han and Luke and finish the story killing off Leia? And the AI said, of course not.
Awesome.
The
See, the
AI
AI
even
was smarter than they were.
Yeah, the AI even wrote scenes where the three of them were together. So from an AI, we
Awesome.
got what everybody wanted that J.J. Abrams and Ryan Johnson didn't have brains
Yeah.
put together to give us.
Yeah.
So that I'm not saying the
Well,
AI was perfect.
AI is such a new tool. I've kind of I signed up for a seminar because I've been trying to get back into writing,
Yeah.
and I signed up for a seminar on one of these writers groups that I'm a part of, and it was talking about, is AI a threat to writers, and is it possible to use AI as a tool? And the person that set this up was saying, yeah, it can be a very, very useful tool.
A tool, right?
And so I tried it out myself, and it was kind of interesting. And the stories themselves,
Well,
I'm looking at it as just something
the
as
AI has to
as
be
inspirational,
programmed,
as something that can kind of guide you or
right?
give you some ideas. But you don't have to take what it says and
Exactly.
say that's going to replace me,
Yes.
because the AI can't predict what we're going to do with it.
Right.
And so, you know, and the thing I don't know about that though is, does it become part of a database, and what does that mean for creators, creative creative rights? Because we still have an issue with
Yeah.
creative rights just on the internet. We've got people all over stealing ideas and stealing intellectual property, and I don't
Yeah, I know a few
know how
companies.
well that's just been hammered out in the last 20 years being on the internet. I know that was a big
Yeah.
issue when blogs were a thing. When blogs
Yes.
first came
Yes.
out, it's like,
Yes.
the creative content and stuff. And so I can see where AI might start, we might start having to look at creative content and what happens when you enter. I've been very careful about what I put on the internet and what I do with my stuff. Um,
Well, I know
so
they
we'll
all.
join a group and try to. It was like, well, I'm really reluctant to discuss my ideas on there, because once I put it out there, I have no control over who gets it.
That's the reason why I have heard people say, "Oh, I sent a script to a studio and they sent it back to me and the envelope wasn't even open." And it was like, you were stupid to send them that. Because if they do a show down the road and you say, "Wait a minute, I came
Yeah,
up with that idea," you
yeah,
you could try to sue them. And I can't believe that there's some person who is suing Amazon claiming that they stole Rings of Power from them. I'm like, why would you even admit that you wrote Rings of Power?
yeah. And that's why things like, these stories that have come out of like the 50 Shades of Grey. Oh yeah, 50. But you know, I mean, fanfic serves a purpose and it's wonderful to do, but you have to be careful with it, because
Absolutely.
there's the taint of illegitimacy to it.
Yes.
And I don't, it just it
Oh, yeah.
that's basically what it was fan fiction, but it was, names changed and things like that. But you know, it's playing with fire as far as that's concerned. It
Yeah.
is kind of like,
Yeah.
and that's a real problem. And so as far as AI, I'm sitting here going, well, it's fun to, because it's like a plot generator.
Right.
The AI is kind of like a plot generator. But now that it's there, I mean, is anybody else able to access it? Is this something that's included in the database, or
I
is it
don't even
is
know
it
their
my
name.
property still? That's something that I need to look into.
And I think the thing, I see some people have typed some stuff into the chat, but
Oh yeah, I'm
uh,
sorry. I'm
that's okay. No, I was just going to say the major argument that seems to be on the writers' minds, the reason why they're striking. I know that I've heard, which he goes by the alias of Script Doctor. Many of you may have heard him before. Um, yes, they have the monetary that they want. Um, that's understandable. But instead of them addressing AI, their major problem is, oh, we want 10 or 12 or 20 writers in the writer's room, even if you need two people, because we all have to work.
Excuse me for a moment. My dog is telling me he needs to go outside, so I will be right back.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm gonna apologize to everybody. I can kind of make out your names, but I'm having problems like trying to read everything. Sometimes it's like something will pop up clear. So, Tommy, I remember you from other chats, so I'm gonna apologize to you. Everybody else already knows I had a stroke back in December, and it affected the occipital, I think that's what it was, the occipital lobe of my brain. So I have vision issues right now. And that's the reason why, Sharon's trying to help out to read the comments and everything, because sometimes on the StreamYards I can kind of see the names, but then I can't read exactly what you wrote. So I'm sorry if everybody else has already heard that, but I just want Tommy to know in case he's thinking, okay, we're not paying attention to what he was saying. But no, I just think it's really weird that you go on strike, but you're not discussing AI, which could possibly put you out of a job, but you're discussing we want this number of writers in the writers' room, although the show may not need that many.
I'm back. I'm sorry.
Okay, but we
Would you
want.
like me to catch you up on what people have been saying?
Yes, yes.
Okay, let me go back. Uh, okay, so Tommy and the Guinea Pig Collective, if you're still here, say hello. Hello, say hello to him. Let's see. Oh goodness. All right. He said Cece was surprisingly good in a sea of lackluster new works,
Nice.
and said only thing that threw me off was the last 20 minutes without dub.
Oh wow.
Let's see. Bruce should be running a movie stream or getting ready for it. Okay. All right. That's
okay.
There are rumors that Harry and Meghan are separating. Yeah.
She needs 5 years according to California.
Like I said, now then comes the question of who gets custodial rights. Both UK and US are going, not us, not us.
Of the quote unquote children.
Uh-huh. Oh, well. I'm not gonna get into that. Let's see. Soul says his mom likes the marvelous Mrs. Maisel.
Oh, cool.
What did you suggest the bikini? Oh, yeah, for them to go to the Bikini Atoll. Yes, that would be perfect. That would be perfect. Let's see. Okay, Mark says, I hope it's Hound says, I hope it's true that they are separating, but we have to take it with a grain of salt. Yeah. Even if it is true, they are separating a lot of damage. Yeah, that's true. Yes. A lot of damage has been done.
Yeah.
Let's see. It says, what happens when you let kids eat crayons and glue paste? They grow up to believe they are princesses. Yes. Yes. There's something in that glue paste there. It wasn't just peppermint. The cast of Mrs. Maisel were all fantastic. They were. And then she says there was some wokeness. There was an episode where they attacked Phyllis Schlafly. That pissed me off too. Uh-huh. Out of all of the feminists that they should have been supporting, Phyllis was one of them.
Yeah.
And let's see. I'm lost now. Sorry, guys. My dog was pawing at my lap, and when he does that, he's basically telling me
he's ready to go out. Yeah.
Let's see. I think Script Doctor said never hand scripts in. They can take it and you'll not be able to do anything.
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, get an agent. That's what you do.
Yes. And years and years and years ago, that was one of the first things that I heard. They were like, if you have a story or a script, you do not ever send it directly to the studio or anything like that, because I have heard the accusations that Disney has come up with some stuff that other people said, hey, wait, I sent you that script. I sent you that story idea. And they have no way of proving it. guy that's suing Amazon over Rings of Power is saying, and this is an old way that I used to hear that you could do it. This is back when I was in Star Trek fandom. You could take the manuscript and put it in the mail and get it dated, then have it mailed back
to you. Yeah, that's kind of like an old-fashioned. I heard
Yes,
some dispute about whether or not that would actually hold up in a court, but yeah,
exactly.
that used to be the old advice. If you really want to buy, it was basically insurance. If you really want to create
Yes,
insurance for your script, be it manuscript or screenplay or whatever, put copies or copies or or the original, and put it in an envelope, seal it good, make sure everything's proper, and then put it through the postal service,
yes,
make sure it's stamped, and then when you
yep.
get it back, do not ever open it.
Open it. Yeah,
Do not
exactly.
ever open it again until such a time as when you might have to show up in court, and then you would give the judge or whoever the sealed envelope and they can open it then.
But
So
and I think I heard script doctors saying that might not hold up.
yeah, it
In
was
this,
like it's people have found ways around it. It's not necessarily the
well,
but
well, the guy who claims that he sent his story to Amazon for Rings of Power, that's what he said he did.
uh,
But I'm like, but the thing is, he was writing a fanfic
mm-hmm.
that was a fanfic sequel to The Lord of the Rings. But he's saying it's original. And it's like, well, it might be original fanfic, but Lord of the Rings is not original to you,
Yeah,
sir. It's
yeah,
original to Mr. Tolkien.
yeah.
So I don't know. He doesn't have really a leg to stand on, but that whole
No.
the show is trying to get ratings again because they're starting to rev up the hate talk again. Like that is going to make me watch their lousy show again.
Gosh. Okay, let's see. I'm way behind, guys. I'm so sorry. Um, um, Amazon should see the person who wrote it. Then, yeah.
Oh, I agree.
Soul says the AI program is scary. Yeah, I've heard some of the things that have been
Yeah.
coming. They're just unbelievable. Let's see. So I guess Soul, you're referring to the Harkles. It sounds like a grift. They want to be paid for nothing. Yeah, that's
Uh-huh.
true.
Yeah.
Um, let's see. And if you want to just save it, put it on an external drive or two. Otherwise, other people might steal it anyway. See Star Trek Discovery. Yeah,
I feel so sorry for that man. Jen,
yeah.
I don't know if you know that
I
story.
vaguely remember that. They totally ripped off a game. Vince says they totally ripped off a game creator and got sued
Yeah,
for it. Sadly, the
exactly.
creator lost. Even a blind guy could see they stole the idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, yeah, copyright protects your works as long as you can prove when it was created, and to make it easier to fight claims against your work file with the Copyright Office.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
It's you've got to be so careful.
Timing is everything, and it's almost like a procedure that you have to go through.
Yeah,
If you want to prove something in court, you have to do things the way a court would do it, the way a
right,
legal
right.
situation would do it. And
Well, these people today are so devoid of creativity that they are actively seeking out people that just innocently think, oh, if I send this script to CBS, they might end up producing it. And they don't know that you've got your Alex Kurtzmans or your J.J. Abrams or people like
mhm,
that all they're looking is for something that it might be the hint of something that, can I get a deal out of this?
yeah,
But I will say one thing. I am glad to hear that it's taken them forever. Hollywood may have found out the truth about J.J. Abrams.
oh, good. Tell
It's
me
too
more.
late. Too late. But no, I think they're not really hiring him anymore.
Good.
And a lot of his projects is kind of like, yeah, we'll call you back in a month after we look this over. So it looks like they may have found out about him, but it's like, yeah, but you've all that he's not called the destroyer of franchises for nothing.
Yeah, Vince says Jar Jar has not one creative bone in his spineless body. I mean, he is, yeah, the destroyer of worlds, just
Mm-mm.
destroyer. I just, it's so cynical. The way he operates is so cynical.
Well, somebody I was listening to somebody the other day, and they were saying that JJ never did something unless he thought he could get merchandising.
Merchandising for it.
That's the reason why he was trying to block the one company that did the Star Trek toys of the original
Oh
Star
wow,
Trek. Like,
I remember reading about that.
the action figure that would look just like William Shatner or
Oh my
Leonard Nimoy.
gosh.
He was trying to block that and put his mess, 2009 and the other movies that he did. That was the only way he was going to benefit.
Yeah.
But none of those toys sold. So it was like people caught on to him. I heard that the reason why 3PO has a red arm in this one Star Wars with Force Awakens, there's no logical reason for him to have a red arm. It's because JJ figured I can sell this.
Oh Lord.
That's the only reason why he had one. Because in the very next movie, in Last Jedi, there hasn't been really a passage of time, but he's got his old arm back.
Ugh.
So it's like, okay, when do they have time to change his arm? So yeah, it was all JJ was thinking about. Well, we can sell a 3PO with a red arm and a 3PO with a gold arm, and yeah, that's very cynical and it's very ugly.
It is. I mean, it just, yeah.
And so, oh my goodness. Well, anyway, I guess
Does anybody else have any other questions for Tina?
yes.
I'm sorry if I've skipped you or missed something. I'm really sorry. If you need me to say something, just type it again if you can. And
Yeah, I just put Ask Tina in caps so
yeah,
Sharon will see it. And I
Tommy says Mego did those figures for Star Trek and tons of other franchises.
yeah, Miko, yeah.
Miko did those figures for Star Trek and tons of other franchises.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I mean that's the thing that'll tell you that Star Wars doesn't sell anymore. George Lucas understood about merchandising. That's the reason why we ended up with the holiday special, because he was busy working on merchandising for Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah.
And he was just kind of like, oh, okay, we're going to be on the Wookiee planet. Okay, all right. I'm back to get,
Well,
let me
the
get back
best
to
decision
Empire.
he made though was to allow a company like Kenner to do the, because I mean,
Kennedy
Kenner understood kids and
Yes,
understood how to sell stuff to kids, and so I,
yes.
I it seems like he at least made the decision to allow a company like Kenner to create stuff for kids to
But
buy, and
that,
that was really good.
well, that's how you know that there has been such a loss of interest in Star Wars. Not just that the Rise of Palpatine made half of what the Force Awakens did, but I mean, Jeff on World Class and several other YouTubers have gone around, and where you used to go in stores, I'll just say Walmart, and there would be a whole section of Star Wars, and it
Yeah,
would go on for one or two
Isles.
aisles.
Yeah,
Now it's just like a corner display,
corner. Yeah.
and
Soul
all
says Chris Gore said Hollywood started to realize how bad deals with JJ is.
yeah,
That the only ones who make money is him.
yeah.
And Star Wars didn't make George any money. It all came from the toys. Yeah.
No, I just don't know what they're doing. All you would have to do is look at the merchandising, and that was one of the reasons why. And this is not something I came up with. This is from listening to other YouTubers. The reason why Ike Perlmutter, I hope I said his name right, he was partly over the merchandising for Marvel, and he knew their sales were going down. Who the hell is going to buy an what's that thing's name? Uh, Ironheart. Who the hell wants an Ironheart toy? Kids want Iron Man. They want Tony Stark. They don't want Iron Girl with her, where she had her hair. Her hair was even, her helmet was plaited. It's like that doesn't even make any sense. Kids don't want that stuff, and I think I Perlmutter kind of realized that, and they have, from what I understand, the comments he made, they have twisted them when he said a superhero movie with a woman would not be popular. A superhero movie, possibly with a black person, wouldn't be popular. But the man pushed for a Black Panther movie way before Mr. Kevin Feige ever did. So I think that's one of the reasons why they got rid of Perlmutter, because he knew the truth that Marvel sales were going down when it came to toys. It's the same thing with Star Wars. If you want to go into Walmart and see one rack with nothing but, what's that girl's name? Sharon, what's the girl's name from Rogue One?
Rose Tico? No. Jen Urso.
Oh, you can find Jen Urso toys hanging up. How long ago was that movie even released?
6 or 7 years, right?
Why would
really, Rogue wasn't that bad.
But nobody wants the toys, because if somebody that action figure should be hanging on a peg for 6 years.
Yeah.
Rose Tico is still hanging on pegs. Ray is still hanging on pegs. That purple-haired heifer is still hanging on pegs. Nobody wants them. They want original Luke Skywalker. They want original Han Solo. They want Lando before they destroyed his character. But they do not, I mean, and her character may have been just fine in Rogue One, but nobody wants her toy. So they're not even reading the market correctly.
Admiral Gender Studies.
Admiral Gender Studies. That's her.
It's her.
That's her.
Vince wanted to know, didn't he also advocate for the Black Widow movie to be made earlier?
Yes.
Yeah.
And of course, oh my goodness, I have my opinion on why ScarJo didn't get her Black Widow movie, but we won't go there.
Seriously, if I've missed any of y'all, if I've missed your questions, or if there's something else, if I missed it and y'all wanted me to say it to Tina, just let me know.
Yeah, because I guess I can't see the time, Sharon.
It is on my clock. It's 8:59.
Okay. Well, if you all have any more comments or anything, please give them, and we'll probably go on for another 10 or 15 minutes, maybe.
Sure.
And I know there are other YouTubers on Saturday nights, because I usually look at them.
I didn't chase anybody away. I just started babbling. I'm sorry.
But I know Echo Base Network is on. Yes, okay. I'm giving out the names of other YouTube channels. But
yeah.
When there are other YouTubers that I really enjoy their work, I'm going to recommend them. So yeah, Echo Base Network.
Dan Blackroyd just entered the room. Says, greetings, good to see you back, Tina.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, my vision is still very low. Sharon, that's the reason why Sharon's reading your all's comments. I can kind of see your names pop up, but not really your comments. So I'm so glad to see you. And Sharon knows this is another hurdle for me. So Stephanie sends her love to everybody, but yes, she's pretty much working 7 days a week right now. So I told her if there's some day like when she can do a live stream, we won't do an announcement. We'll just jump on and say, hey, here we are. So if you can come by, do that. But yeah, what I was trying to I used to own so many Star Wars.
Vince says usually not online on the weekends, came just for you. Not like that, just maybe a little.
Well, thank you. Oh shoot, I was trying to think. I would say Echo Base Network. Yellow Flash will be on later tonight. He usually has Anna, that Star Wars girl. and others on. I never know where they're going to be going. Um, I don't know who else is on tonight. World Class might have a show tonight. I'm not sure. So I know they should be considered the competition, but I like promoting them. So
We like them. Yeah.
we like them. Yeah. Oh, and there is one YouTuber. I don't have her link. Um, there is one YouTuber I was going to recommend, and now her name is gone. I'm going to have to look it up, Sharon. Um, she's a young girl. Well, I'm saying young girl, a young woman. And what she does is she will show videos where she has watched a movie she's never seen before.
Okay.
It amazes me at how many movies she's never seen.
Who is this again?
I've got to look up her name.
Okay. I think you told me about her one time. She's a
Yes.
young girl.
Yes, she's a
Yeah.
young,
Okay.
young Black woman. She's got a good eye for videos, and I watched a video of hers last night. She did. She had never seen Citizen Kane,
Wow.
and I was like, "You mean somebody has never seen Citizen Kane?" And she was so admiring of it, and she was amazed at the different camera angles. And she said now she understood why it was considered such a made such a difference in filmmaking up to that point. And
Yeah.
was talking about one camera angle, and she said, "Wow, it's just like they went through the floor to shoot it." And I said, "Well, they tore out the floor to put the camera into."
Oh my.
So that's why you have that upward angle, which you really
Wow.
hadn't seen before. Because I've seen the picture of Orson Welles in the floor where they ripped up the floorboards and they were down in the flooring
Oh my goodness.
with the
Wow.
camera. And but she was so amazed at that. She's got some other videos up that I haven't had a chance to look at yet. She's did a review of Singing in the Rain, and I'm like,
Wow.
oh my gosh, that's one of the greatest musicals ever made.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to think. Oh, she just watched Casablanca
Oh,
for the
okay.
first time, but
Okay. This says My Nerdy Home is streaming right now.
oh, is she okay?
And there are tons of those first time reaction videos, but they're always so much fun. I just watched a reaction video for a song. I guess it was a group of Black guys, and they'd never heard of Gordon Lightfoot.
Oh my god!
And they sat and listened to the record. Well, no, it was two guys, not a group of them, two guys, and they'd never heard the record, the Edmund Fitzgerald.
Oh
And they
wow!
really, really liked it. And then there was another group that I watched that they were listening to Michael McDonald.
Oh wow!
And Michael McDonald had some Motown blues to him.
Yes,
he had some
yes.
funk to him, and he was good.
And
They'd never heard of him, and they were just like, man. And then one of them said, "That's the blackest white voice I've ever heard in my life." I was like, "Oh, that's great."
Look at the comments. I think the R said
the R said he's never seen Citizen Kane. I was about to get to him.
Yeah,
sorry about that.
Watch it at least once.
Yes.
I mean,
give it more than 15 minutes.
Give it more than 15 minutes. Look at it all the way through. And what you need to do in your mind is don't think about it as I'm watching the greatest movie ever made. Don't ever go into it thinking like that. When you go into it, the only thing you should be thinking about is movies made prior to Citizen Kane and how they were shot and the styles and the cinematography and everything. Then you look at Citizen Kane and you start to notice the lighting and the shadows because it's in black and white. And Greg Toland, to this day, is still one of the greatest cinematographers of all time. I looked at Citizen Kane just the other day, and some of the cells that were damaged in my ocular system, I where there's dark areas, they appear darker. But with Greg Toland's photography, it was so sharp. I could even make out those details, and I credit that to him as a cinematographer. And a lot of people can't do that. But yeah, when you look at Citizen Kane, don't ever go into it thinking, oh my gosh, I'm about to see the greatest movie ever made, or what is considered
Mhm.
the greatest movie ever made. Just go into it and think, I'm about to see the story of a man who started out poor, became rich, and lost the whole world. That is what you need to look for. And that's the reason why Sharon, every time I see Citizen Kane, I'm crying at the end.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like, why are you crying? And it's like, I feel like I've witnessed something great. And then plus that, it hits me that he's lost everything. He may have these millions of dollars and everything, but he's lost everything.
Yeah.
What does the scripture say about gaining the whole world and losing?
Yeah, what does it profit a man to gain the whole
Yeah.
world and lose his soul?
And that was the same
Um,
with Charles Foster Kane.
yeah.
He has nothing. He had the wealth, but he doesn't have love.
Mm,
Nobody is around to actually love him.
yeah.
So that's the kind. And the R. I first saw Citizen Kane when I was 12 years old. Had no idea what I was watching. The only thing I knew when I saw it was that why isn't everything like this? Are all
Mm,
movies like this? That was
yeah.
what I came out of it with.
Tommy says quick reaction videos are needed to get attention since it seems most have short attention spans. Yeah.
Yes.
But it's so much fun to see, these kids, these young people that have never been exposed to, because
Yes.
growing up I had very eclectic taste and I got a little bit of everything.
Yes.
And I didn't just listen to country and I didn't just listen to pop, and I did I always try. I do that with my reading too. I try to get into genres,
Mm-hmm.
try to get
Mm-hmm.
outside that comfort zone. But there's so many people that don't do that, and so it's really fun. Or just somebody who isn't in a family that exposes, because you grew up with people going to movies, and in spite of my mom liked movies but my dad hated them,
Yeah.
and
Yep.
I only went to movies because of my friends. My friends would tell me this, and so I would go with my friends. But my parents were not big movie goers, so we didn't go. It wasn't a family thing to do. And so I would just sit and watch shows on the weekend, whatever the old, and that's how I first saw The Ghost and Mrs. Muir,
Yes.
and the old westerns and
Mm-hmm.
things like that. So, and these kids, well, since the dawn of cable and internet, and you have a whole generation or two that didn't get this kind of exposure because everything's been very, very focused. If all you watch is Nickelodeon, or all you watch is HM, what,
Yeah.
HBO, you know
Right.
you don't have that. So it's really, to me, it's a lot of fun to see them discover these kinds of, like, yeah, that was really great, this is,
Yep. Well,
and
that's like one of the girls that I used to work with. Another Stephanie, another Stephanie in my
yeah.
life. I trained her when she first came into our unit, and we worked on the same shift, and we kind of learned how each other worked. Where I could read her mind, she could read mine. We worked very well together when we did crime scenes.
Mhm.
And when she was a little girl, both her parents, as even though she was young, both of her parents had already passed away. But one of her fondest memories was that she and her parents would watch the Dobie Gillis show on Nick at
Oh
Night.
yeah.
And her dad, she said, my dad would call me Zelda because of the
Aw.
way I crunched my nose. And I was like, she's not that old, but she knows about the show from the
Yeah.
1950s, I guess.
Yeah.
And she knows it. She knows the characters. When that one episode popped up and she said, oh, there's Warren Beatty. And I said, yeah, my mom said Warren Beatty was on Dobie Gillis at one point.
Oh my.
So that was so nice. And I just remembered her name. It's Movies with Mia, Mia.
Okay, movies with Mia.
Mia, and she goes by the name Mia Tiffany. And it's just really interesting that if you have her Patreon, you can actually watch her while she's watching the movie. But then she'll cut, I guess, the a video from the live watch to YouTube audiences so they can actually see, they can see parts of it.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, I've heard her, like, there's movies I know by heart, and she'll be saying, "Ooh, I think so and so's the murderer. Do you think so and so's the murderer?" She's kind of talking like that, and I'm sitting there shaking my head, going, "Oh, you're gonna be really surprised at who the murderer is."
Yeah. Okay. Vince says, ignore how the nurse even heard him saying Rosebud.
And so, oh, I think it was,
And then Jacob says it's movie to fall asleep to, Rosebud.
oh
I'm
my,
not sure what you're referencing
oh,
there.
you fell asleep to it. Is that
Oh
is
no,
that what you mean?
I
I think
guess
that,
so. I don't know what he means.
oh,
Um,
I love that movie so
let's
much.
see. Waiting for the guinea pigs to start yelling.
Oh
Okay.
my gosh.
You heard, and then Mark asks Vince, you heard the background on William Randolph Hearst and Rosebud? And Vince asks, in what regards? Um, Mark says to me, ask Tina to tell how Rosebud relates to the real William Randolph
Randolph
Hearst.
Hearst. Okay, William Randolph
Vince
Hearst.
says not really familiar with the real story behind the man, mostly just the movie. Mark says a dark homage to Hearst, and it is said Hearst's nickname for his mistress Lady Part was Rosebud. Oh.
Yes, Marion Davies
Uh,
was his longtime mistress, and she really, really did love him. But he was married to somebody else. Marion Davies was a great talent. I've seen some of her work in the silent era, and it was like she was so good. But I'm sorry, he wanted her to be these. Oh, you're going to be the perfect little lady from the 19th century in this movie. But she had a really good comedic timing. One of her, I think he was her nephew, was the Mankiewicz, who is credited with co-writing Citizen Kane with Orson Welles. There's still a great debate on who wrote it, but both of them get co-credit for it. Mankiewicz was the one who gave Orson Welles a lot of the ideas because he used to visit Hearst's estate at San Simeon when they would have the parties and stuff. And yes, Rosebud was allegedly Marion Davies' certain lady part. And that's where they got the term Rosebud. Allegedly. Allegedly. So
oh man.
supposedly, I think Hearst and Charles Foster Kane were probably a lot alike. They were both very nasty, brutal businessmen. Hearst, it's claimed, helped start the Spanish American War, or the United States getting into it.
Oh man.
In Citizen Kane, Charles Foster Kane kind of takes responsibility for the United States getting into World War One, the Spanish American War.
Wow.
So there's lots of similarities, but Orson Welles in later years said he never. I don't know how truthful he was, but he said he never meant for people to think that Susan Alexander Kane was anything like Marion Davies, because Susan Kane had no talent, whereas Marion Davies did.
Oh my.
He never intended for people to think, oh, well, he must be talking about Marion Davies. So Orson Welles claims he felt bad about that. Now, maybe at the time that he and Mankiewicz wrote the script, he didn't. Maybe he was kind of in a nasty mood. Maybe later in years he regretted that. I don't know. So, and all of them are gone. Everybody's gone. Orson Welles, Mankiewicz, Marion Davies, William Randolph Hearst. So, well, Sharon, her story is really sad. She had a bungalow on the Hearst property, and when he died, when she they had to sedate her because she was so upset.
Oh my.
When she woke up, they everything that he had given her or that she had as a memory of him, they had taken it.
Oh my gosh.
So she woke up to nothing but a big empty room. And it's like,
Wow.
but she loved him. I mean, yeah, she was his mistress for years, but she loved him.
Wow.
So it was kind of sad. It was just like I don't
He
think
didn't have anything in his will specifically for her?
no, because she ended up selling some of her jewelry that he had given her. He was in money straits because the federal government was after him, not for evading taxes, but for he owed more, they claimed.
Wow.
And he was starting to have financial difficulties, and she went and sold and hawked a lot of the jewelry that he had given her to help him out. And it wasn't a loan, it was a gift back to him because she said, I love that old man. So, and yeah, she probably loved him more than his wife ever did. Just saying.
Wow.
Just saying. But yes, her lady part, that got alleged that Rosebud was supposed to be her lady part and what Hearst would call Marion Davies' lady part.
Oh gosh.
Yes. So there you go, the story of Rosebud.
Mm.
Allegedly. So,
Allegedly.
oh my gosh. Well, do you all have anything else? Because I guess we're going to start winding down. And Sharon, do you see anything else in there?
No, no, no. I
Okay.
mean, well, let's see. Yeah, Mark said a dark homage to Hearst, and it is said Hearst's nickname for his mistress's lady part was Rosebud. Vince said, oh, I heard that one before, wasn't sure if it was true or not. And Rosie was going, naughty Mark was sour.
Yeah, I don't know for sure. Every time I have seen a documentary and they mention that, they always preface it with allegedly. So
Allegedly.
yeah, but it's a good story, isn't it? Oh my gosh. Let's see. I was trying to think of this. You all can find. Well, we're on Gilded. So
Vince, you said All Quiet on the Western Front. Is that a movie you'd like her to talk about?
oh my gosh, I didn't see it. You're talking about
All
the new,
Quiet on the Western Front?
yeah, the new version. I didn't
I
see.
watched. Oh, the new one? There's a new one?
Yeah, it was up for Best Picture.
Wow. Okay.
It's a German production, which it
Oh,
is wonderful to me because I'm like the book was it was written about a German soldier in World
wow.
War One.
Okay.
I've only ever seen the old version with Lou Ayres, I think, and I saw part of the one with uh, Richard. Is it Richard Thomas that used to play John Boy? I've seen part of that.
Oh, Vince said, no, I meant that the chat was silent. Yeah, it all went silent.
Oh,
I'm like, oh,
Vince,
I did
you
something
got us
wrong.
talking about all
I'm
quiet on the
sorry.
Western Front.
R says he's got a jet. Good night and God bless everyone. Good night, Jet. The R. Good
Oh,
night.
take care
God
now.
bless you too.
Yes, you too. Thank you so much for coming by. Well, we're getting ready, I guess, to go. I was gonna say, Soup to Nuts is on Gilded. You can find me on Discord. If you go into Odin's channel, I am all over Discord. Now he gave me a sub channel so that I can ramble and rant all I want. I ramble and rant a lot about Lucasfilm and Disney. Um, but since my eyesight has improved slightly, I'm able to get around to other channels, sub channels. So I might be in the movies, I might be in the welcome. But yeah, if you can get on Discord, definitely check it out because I saw Brian Barth, I don't think was in the chat tonight, Sharon.
No, I didn't
So
see him either. Mark
Brian,
says, night all. Good to see you streaming again, Tina.
well, thank you. It's not on a regular basis. It's just like if Stephanie can't do a show, then Sharon X is her understudy, so we kind of work in conjunction with who's got the time. So
Yeah. Yeah.
I am so glad Sharon was just like, "You want to stream this week?"
Sure.
So,
Vince says, good night, guys and gals. See you next time and have yourself a great rest of your weekend. You too, Vince.
oh, thank you, Vince. And yeah, I get the only Sharon. The only thing I've got left to rant about will be which one is going to make the less money, Indy 5 or the Flash movie, because James Gunn has already said, I'm starting whole new thing at Warner Brothers. So why would I bother go see the Flash movie if they're going to reset everything?
Oh, thank you. So I'm sorry. So you said power's back. I guess you had a power.
Oh, his power went out.
Oh, his power went out. Sorry.
I guess I'm just.
Oh, thank you, Soul. You're so sweet. He said, Sharon, not a replacement. She's part of the crew. Thank you.
Oh.
It's good to be a part of the crew.
But no, Sharon, I'm
Rosie, thank you. Rosie says, Tina and Sharon, great stream and great job. Thank you, Rosie.
Thank you all. And Rosie,
always good to see you too.
Rosie, I'll be texting you later. I guess we're gonna go ahead and wind down. Like me and Sharon said, we are not anticipating anything this year.
Yeah, I just can't think of anything.
I really can't.
I've been trolling YouTube, but okay, one video I would like to recommend, one YouTuber, the Royal Grift.
Yes,
she's got them nailed down.
Yes.
And she does her this. I wonder if somebody, some online magazine or I mean, she's wonderful, and she's done a lot of research, and I mean, she's like me. She's like, you can't just blow this off. This is there's stuff going on you are being distracted by, and you need to pay attention. They're counting on you not paying attention. So the Royal Grift.
Well, I will recommend two channels. I've already mentioned Mia Tiffany's channel, which is Movies with Mia.
Yeah.
I recommend her. Another channel I've been watching a lot of, and because I'm an Anglophile, is called History Calling. And it's done by a young lady. I'm guessing she's British from her accent, but she delves into a lot of things that I love to study about. So some of the videos I've watched recently have been what actually happened to the princess in the tower. Okay. Was Elizabeth I legitimate or not? When she finished explaining it, I was like, yes, I thought about that too. And boy, you really twist your brain into a pretzel thinking about it, because Henry VIII was a mess. She's also talked about the locations of the graves of Henry VIII's wife. She's gotten into Elizabeth of York, who was a Plantagenet and Henry VIII's mother. So she's really, she takes everything very seriously, but it's a lot of fun. She shows really great pictures, and it's been kind of interesting. It's been fun getting back into it again.
Back into it, yeah. I suggest Time Team, The Archaeologist and Me. Great show. I love the Time Team. It says Indy will make less than Flash. Flash dangles at least some member berries in front of you.
I think everybody will go for Michael Keaton. I think everybody will go.
Indy 5 will get lower money. Hound says I think Indy 5 will get lower than the Flash.
Yeah.
And Rosie, oh, thank you, Rosie. You're so sweet. Hound says make Sharon permanent crew.
Oh no. Well, Stephanie keeps telling me that I ought to, and I
love whenever I listen to Tina and Stephanie, I think they just have such a great rapport. They're just, they're everything that this channel is about. And I just, I feel like a little bit of an interloper here. So I'm perfectly happy to be understudied for whatever needs to go on.
Saying, I don't know if I can do it. And I'm like, Sharon told me to tell you to shut up. And I'm like, you're the nuts. So you came up with the title. No, Sharon will just she's part of the crew, but Sharon will come by. Stephanie is official. She is the nuts.
Yeah, yeah.
So I should be the nuts, but anyway.
No, no.
Anyway, well, I let's see. Did
Let's see. Okay, yeah. Super Anime Gamer
well,
came
hi.
in. What's up, everyone? Sorry, I'm so late. Oh, also, Tina, I should let you know I got an email or text rather from Taffy.
Oh,
And
she
she was
didn't.
trying to get on, and she had some glitches. So I'll talk to you
Oh,
more about that later.
okay, okay. I'm
Rosie says
sorry.
I miss Stephanie and Stephanie's mom.
Oh, well, I don't. I kind of have some sad news about Stephanie's mom. Her mom, I think she had mentioned it before, was having vision problems, and now she's pretty much blind. And but she wants to keep her independence, which I fully understand. And Steph had to call me up one night because I started crying because I felt so bad about her mom. And Stephanie said, no, her mom otherwise is, she's in her right mind, of course. It's just that she can't see. And but she's a very strong lady. And I'm glad you all, just like, yeah, you miss Stephanie and miss her talking about her mom. So I'll definitely let Stephanie know that. And hopefully we can get her on one night, even if we have to do an impromptu stream. So, well, Sharon,
Yeah,
you want to call this a night?
I think so. Thank you, everybody, for being here.
Thank
Y'all
you
are
all.
wonderful, and I'm sorry again if I've missed anything.
Yeah, just I see you.
Either text me a hate mail or 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 get on Gilded and ask what you need or talk with Tina there. I try to get on Gilded, but the job I have has me so mentally brain dead by the end of the day. I'm just like, I don't think I'd be able to. I'm just like, I'm glad to walk away from the computer.
Oh, yeah, yeah. I mean, if you fool with computers all day, the last thing
Yeah,
you want to do is get on a
I'm on
computer.
from 6 a.m. till 2:30. So
Oh
it's
my gosh. Well, we hope to do another show soon. Maybe by the time we do our next show, we'll talk about Indy 5. The Flash should be out maybe. I don't know when it's going to be released, but I'm Sharon, I'm sure we'll have plenty to talk about.
oh yeah, definitely.
Well, I'll tell you what I am going to do. I have it lined up so that I think I'm going to hit the outro because last time I was too scared and didn't know, and I was like, I may just knock out half of the Eastern Seaboard if I hit the wrong button. So I'm going to try to hit the outro. I am going
Okay.
to wish you all a very good night.
Very good night, everyone. Yeah, my job has me. I have to be ready to go at 6 a.m.
Oh God,
Yes.
I can't wake up that early. Oh my goodness, that's the time they woke me up when I was in rehab. It was like, here's your
It's fine.
pill.
I get up early with my husband anyway, but I mean, he at least gets like an hour travel time to get himself mentally prepared.
Yeah.
Me, I roll out of bed at 5:45 and I'm at the desk
Oh
signing
my
in,
gosh.
and it's like it's just a couple of clicks off the norm.
Oh,
It's just it's not so odd that you know, but at the same time, it's like it's not normal. But
well,
anyway, I'm sorry.
Sharon's talking about normal. I'm like, yeah, you ought to do crime scene work.
Yeah,
Just
that's right.
saying.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it was like there's no planning for that. Um,
Uh-uh. Okay,
no,
well, I am going to try to hit this outro. I hope you all can see it. Everybody take care.
yes.
Unless me and Steph happen to do an impromptu show, just look for the next announcement when we do another one.
Okay.
All
All
right.
right. All
Okay.
right. Good
All
night,
right.
everyone.
Good night,
Have a
everybody.
safe weekend, and God bless you all.
And God bless you all too. And remember, the proverb says, anxiety wears down the heart, but a kind word cheers it up. I think
Yes.
that's it.
Yes.
All right, then. Night now.
Night night.